Good evening everyone. Today in this video we will fight against the advanced character of our world around us, and we will try to discuss why such powers like Russia, China and also Gulf states have actually have upper hand over Western powers, especially European powers, and to some extent even over US. We know that recently, especially Western Europeans, to some extent also Americans and Canadians, went into such delusion of peace, prosperity, end of history, like idiot. I take all responsibility for this word. Idiot pseudo-historian Fukuyama promoted these ideas and many people followed. That prosperity will last forever and liberal democracy will be a political system dominating in more and more countries around the world, and we will reach eternal happiness under this system and prosperity. Childish, or at the maximum teenage wet dreams of disconnected with reality academicians, completely disconnected with reality. Okay, leave it. History will last as long as the last human being remains alive, and this we should keep in our mind. So history is still ongoing process, and history has its principles, and we need to undergo these principles. And the one who doesn't want to succumb to these principles will have to repeat the history and again and again and again. Okay, so now let's think why do Russia, China and the Gulf countries have upper hand over Western powers, especially Europeans? First, their regimes are more stable, are much more despotic, are based on the well-defined leadership of the leader. We can define the leader as emir, prince, king, president. Actually, it's nowadays Russia is a mixture of Soviet Union and white Tsarate regime, like White Russians, the name of the followers and supporters of Tsarist regime. So if it's the mixture between red and white, so nowadays Russia has pink Tsar Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Of course, we also have red emperor Mr. Xi. So these are the stable autocratic regimes. First point. They also sell to the West. Russia sells resources, mainly oil and gas, without which the West cannot function. Also, Russia offers great market for the especially luxury products, but not only, also agricultural products for the Western economies. China is a supplier of many goods Western societies use in everyday life, like electronics and other devices. So actually these countries realize that they also undergo some crises. Social, maybe a little bit demographic crises, more Russia than China, but China as well in recent years. So they decided to try to rearrange the world order, geopolitical order, as long as they still have power and a huge upper hand over the Western countries. And they do so. Ukraine, Taiwan and other issues are the best manifestation showing that the process of rearranging the geopolitical order is ongoing. What should Western leaders, if they had balls, do to work against this situation? They should be able to say to their populations, okay, for 4 years are needed to restore the production of basic goods you use every day. So much time is needed to restore it in our countries. So for these 4 years, be ready for the rapid decrease of your life standards. Actually, not decrease, drop rapid drop of the life standards by any means. And in terms of dealing with Russia or Gulf countries or other places that deliver gas and oil, be ready that 2-3 winters will be really cold and you will suffer shortages of basic services you have at home, like hot water, like heat, and so on and so on. So currently I see how the democratic politicians have balls and they claim it to the wide public. I see it only in my imagination because I know that it won't happen. And I see how the CEOs of great corporations that are also ruling together with democratic politicians who are financed by these corporations, that they also have balls to say it to the public. And managers who are ruling these great corporations, because recently, as I mentioned many times, owner of this great corporation is actually separated from the corporation, and they just delegate the managing of these corporations to managers who have several years term, and their only goal is to maximize the profit of the corporation at any cost, even destroying the health or the economy of the country. So I see how these people are ready to pay the price for the liberty and independence of their country, independence from such regime, which deliver the different supplies to the societies, to Western societies, to allow them to enjoy relatively very high prosperity, one of the highest in the remembered history. So we see it will not happen. That's why such countries like Russia, China, and Gulf countries know that they can do geopolitically much more than their potentials would indicate. How it will end, we will see. But for sure, Russia and China will use this opportunity to torment more and more countries and press lazy and degenerated Western elites and societies, press them to pay more for unstable, in quotation, peace that will be more and more unstable and more expensive for degenerated Western powers and their societies. All the best, have a nice evening, bye.